The Oklahoma heat has arrived, and sitting in front of a fire in your house is probably the last thing in our minds. But OSU forestry specialist Ryan DeSantis says if you're looking to burn this winter, now's the time to start preparing.
Summertime is a good time to start thinking about firewood. Firewood's not the primary heat source for most Oklahoma households. About 2% of Oklahoma households use firewood as the primary heat source, but a lot of people use it in their backyard, in their fire pit, and for other purposes. When you're thinking about processing firewood, it's good to think about trying to get it down to a diameter of at the most 5 inches and a length of 12 to 16 inches at the most. This helps fit it into your fireplace. It also helps you make sure you have a low enough moisture content so it's easier to burn the wood and you get a higher heat value. When you think about the moisture content of your firewood, it's important to think about the process of combustion. The first part of that is really removing the water from the wood. So basically the less water content in the wood, the lower the moisture content, the easier it is for that firewood to combust and provide heat. So part of the process for firewood production is drying it. People refer to this as, at first, when you buy firewood, as green firewood when it's still wet or when it's first cut down. Eventually you want to make sure your firewood is processed and dried. You can stack it. You can also dry it before stacking it, but it's important to remember to have your firewood dry before burning it. When you're burning firewood, the wetter the firewood is, the more smoke you're going to get, the less pleasant it's going to be. It's also, like I mentioned, it's going to be harder to combust. So a lot of the preheating process when you're trying to get the fire started is really just trying to remove water from the firewood. So the most efficient way to burn the wood is to try to remove the water first by drying it. Now that can be done setting it outside, making sure it gets plenty of sunlight. The way that you stack it, make sure that there's plenty of air circulating around it on all sides. So the smaller the piece of wood, generally the lower the moisture content under comparable conditions. So here's 2 pieces of firewood. The smaller piece here is really an ideal size for firewood. Less than 5 inches diameter, less than 12 to 16 inches in length. This is going to be a lot easier to combust and it's going to provide heat faster than this other piece. Now this piece of firewood, you probably, if you can, want to chop this up into smaller pieces so that you can get this combusting faster and providing heat faster so you can burn more efficiently. Another important consideration when you're burning firewood is creosote management. So basically you want to keep your chimney clean, you want to make sure you're sweeping it, and before you even burn, you want to make sure that you're burning wood without any kind of additives, any treatment to the wood. You want to make sure you're burning the right species of wood, and you want to make sure you're burning wood that's been properly dried. So in Oklahoma, we have a really wide range of species of specific gravities. When I say specific gravity, what I'm really talking about is the density of the wood. Wood density is really related to how much cell wall material is in the wood that you're burning. Basically, the higher the density of the wood, the more cell wall material. It's also going to be harder to dry out that kind of wood. As an example, Bodark or Osage orange is a species that has a really high density, really high specific gravity. It also produces the highest heat content or heat value of any wood that's native to Oklahoma. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have eastern red cedar, which is the least dense wood that's native to Oklahoma. It also produces the least amount of recoverable heat value when you burn it. So think about species and size when you're picking species. If you have a choice, a species like cedar or even cottonwood are species that are going to burn and not provide as much heat as something like a hardwood. We'll be providing more information on firewood in the future, but for now, go to the SUNUP website for more information.